If there was ever a doubt about whether the Pittsburgh Steelers were content with mediocrity, that was answered this offseason. General Manager Omar Khan and the front office went all in, transforming a stagnant roster into one that now screams urgency, aggression, and win-now mentality. For a team that ended another season short of true contention, the message was clear. Enough is enough. The Steelers' offseason was full of fireworks, some thrilling, others bittersweet. But one thing is certain. This franchise is no longer sitting on its hands. Here's my breakdown of the biggest moves and grades for each. Pittsburgh Steelers had a flurry of big moves during the 2025 offseason. Pittsburgh Steelers key additions during 2025 offseason. DK Metcalf. A. The offseason started with a bang as the Steelers traded a 2025 second-round pick to Seattle for DK Metcalf. The two-time Pro Bowler brings elite physicality, deep threat ability, and toughness to an offense that lacked explosive playmaking. His 4-year, $132 million extension was steep, but necessary to solidify him as WR1. Metcalf fits the Steelers' blue-collar DNA and gives Aaron Rodgers a true go-to target. All things considered, it was a great move to spark the overhaul. Aaron Rodgers. A. I'll be honest. When the Steelers parted ways with both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in the same week, I was nervous. Quarterback uncertainty is never comfortable. But they had a plan. Bringing in Aaron Rodgers on a one-year, $13.65 million deal is genius. He's a future Hall of Famer and still has enough left in the tank to compete. Rodgers gives this team instant credibility and leadership. It also sets up a development window for Will Howard or Mason Rudolph. For the price and the upside, it's a home run. Jalen Ramsey. B+. Trading for Jalen Ramsey came at a cost. Minkah Fitzpatrick and draft picks, but I think it'll be worth it. Ramsey is still a top-tier cornerback when healthy, and pairing him with Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr. gives Pittsburgh a fearsome secondary. His 4-year, $84.7 million extension with $19.5 million guaranteed shows confidence in his longevity. If Ramsey returns to form, this move will look brilliant. Jonnu Smith. A. Jonnu Smith was a quiet addition that could make a loud impact. With Arthur Smith calling plays and Aaron Rodgers under center, having a tight end like Jonnu, who caught 88 balls for 884 yards and 8 touchdowns in 2024, adds another layer to this new-look offense. He brings versatility, toughness, and reliability. This was a savvy addition. Darius Slay. B. Adding a 33-year-old corner isn't usually flashy, but Darius Slay isn't your average vet. His 6 Pro Bowls and Super Bowl experience make him a valuable asset. He'll likely rotate more than start full-time, but as a mentor to Joey Porter Jr. and a complement to Ramsey, his presence is welcome. A solid move with limited downside. Pittsburgh Steelers key departures during 2025 offseason. Minkah Fitzpatrick. B. Seeing Minkah go stung, no question. But production matters. He had just one interception over the past 2 seasons and was entering a contract year that would have cost the Steelers big. I appreciate everything he brought since 2019, but I also understand the business side of this decision. We'll remember the big moments. George Pickens. B. This one was emotionally tough, but necessary. Pickens was dynamic, no doubt. 174 receptions, 2,841 yards, and 12 TDs since 2022, but his attitude often outweighed his production. Pittsburgh doesn't tolerate distractions, and sending him to Dallas felt like hitting the reset button. The talent was undeniable, but so were the headaches. Najee Harris. B. Najee was the definition of consistent, 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons, but Arthur Smith's offense needed a different type of back. Letting Harris go and handing the reins to Jaylen Warren was a bold call, but one that feels right for the system. I'll always appreciate Najee's grit and wish him success in LA. Pittsburgh Steelers retained key pieces during 2025 offseason. Omar Khan. A+. Omar Khan deserves every bit of praise and every dollar of his 3-year extension. His fearless approach to the offseason changed the entire tone of this franchise. From trades to signings to cap management, Khan proved he's building something big in Pittsburgh. We haven't seen this kind of boldness in years, and I love it. Jaylen Warren B+. With Najee gone, the spotlight turns to Warren. His restricted tender worth $5.3 million is fair value for a back who earned it. In 2024, he racked up 4 touchdowns and looked sharp as a dual-threat runner. He'll be in a training camp battle with rookie Caleb Johnson, but Warren has earned this chance to start. TJ Watt, A+. The most important move of the offseason. TJ Watt's 3-year, $123 million extension with $108 million guaranteed cements his legacy in Pittsburgh. Since 2017, he's racked up 108 sacks and 33 forced fumbles. He's the heart of this team, and locking him down ensures that the defense will continue to revolve around his unmatched intensity. This deal was overdue and absolutely essential. Final grade, B+. The Steelers took chances this offseason. Some were expensive, others controversial, but most were calculated. The front office retooled nearly every level of the roster while maintaining key foundational pieces. They added proven stars, let go of distractions, and created an identity that screams urgency and focus. This kind of offseason doesn't guarantee a championship, but it guarantees we won't see the same old Pittsburgh. And as a fan, that's all I've wanted. If this roster can stay healthy and the chemistry clicks, don't be surprised if the Steelers shock the NFL in 2025. For now, I give Omar Khan and the Steelers a strong B+ and room to make it an A by season's end. For a month-long stretch, TJ Watt looked mortal. Held without a sack in his final 4 games of the regular season and playoffs, Watt finished 2024 with low numbers compared to his lofty standards. Beat writer Ray Fittipaldo outlined how it can return to his usual numbers this season. What was talking about was moving around the defense, Fittipaldo told WNBS George Von Benko during a Saturday interview. Not just playing left outside linebacker. He said he is open to playing on the right side more. He's always been deferential to Alex Highsmith because that's where Alex plays, but he said he's going to be open to moving to the right side and moving around the defense. Watt's previous insistence on playing on the left side was less about deferring to Highsmith and more about his own preference. Watt has been on record preferring to play the left side. He moved there for his second NFL season, and his numbers exploded, becoming one of the league's top pass rushers. Watt has indicated he's more comfortable and more effective at left outside linebacker. But with that effectiveness sapped down the stretch last season, Watt's mind is changed. More schematic creativity to free him up will bring his elite numbers back to life. That's the main thing, Fittipaldo said. The Steelers have to figure out a way to get him away from double teams, chips by tight ends, chips by running backs. And if they can do that, I think you'll see his sack numbers go up. No question, the Steelers need to examine why Watt and the rest of the defense faded in 2024. But moving him to the other side isn't the cure-all, nor is it necessarily even the answer. Watt has built a Hall of Fame career playing from the left side where each week the opposition knows where he'll align. Pittsburgh needs to free him up, but the focus should be doing that from his primary position instead of flipping sides. That can mean more stunts, blitzes, and sim pressure looks to prevent blocking schemes from turning all attention to Watt. Or, at the least, make them pay the price for doing so. Improved run defense will also create better and more frequent rush opportunities. Regardless of the team's plan, Watt needs to return to his 15-plus sack ways to make his massive contract worth it. The NFL draft often produces first-rounds quarterback who entered his final college season flying under the radar. The guy who wasn't the 5-star recruit, last year's starter, or power program arm who soaks up all the headlines. A year ago, the focus was on Georgia's Carson Beck instead of Miami FL's Cam Ward. In 2020, when Jake Fromm had all the preseason hype, Joe Burrow went from afterthought to number 1 pick in a 12-month span. The 2026 NFL Draft could break the same way, and in CBS Sports' latest mock draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers happily benefit. In the site's too early mock draft, the Steelers select Indiana QB Fernando Mendoza with the 14th overall pick of the 2026 draft. His arm talent really shone, said analyst Mike Renner of Mendoza. For a Pittsburgh Steelers team that plays in an outdoor division, Mendoza is the perfect type of quarterback to fit into that offense. In a world where Pittsburgh is unable to pick in the top 5, a late riser like Mendoza is the perfect scenario to still offer a potential franchise quarterback. Transferring from Cal to Indiana for 2025, his numbers at first blush don't pop. Last year, he threw only 16 touchdowns across 11 games for a Golden Bears team who failed to even crack .500. Blame a poor roster, not Mendoza, for that. It was the worst I saw of any quarterback when I went through summer scouting, Renner said of Cal's porous offensive line. It was basically, if he hit his back foot and the ball wasn't out, he was getting hit on that play. His offensive line was not going to give him a second, third read. Cal quarterbacks were sacked 50 times a year ago, tied with Oklahoma for the FBS worst mark. That's despite the Golden Bears finishing only 41st in passing attempts, far from the most throw-happy offense in the world. Mendoza simply lacked time in the pocket, hurting his numbers and the team. Still, he managed to throw for over 3,000 yards and complete almost 70% of his passes. Now, he'll play for offensive guru Curt Cignetti and a rising Hoosiers program. If selected in the first round, Mendoza would become the third Cal quarterback taken in the top 32 since 2005. Jared Goff went number 1 in 2016 while Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers' 2025 starter, fell to the Green Bay Packers in 2005. In 2003, Kyle Boller went 19th to the Baltimore Ravens. If not Mendoza, our Jonathan Heitritter noted other dark horse candidates to be in the 2026 running. Arkansas's Taylor Green, Iowa's Mark Gronowski, and Oklahoma's John Mateer all made his list. In the CBS mock, 2 quarterbacks went ahead of the Steelers' picks. The New Orleans Saints selected LSU's Garrett Nussmeier number 1 overall, and the Indianapolis Colts took Penn State's Drew Aller at number 8. 2 quarterbacks went after Mendoza. The Los Angeles Rams nabbed Clemson's Cade Klubnik at number 27, while the New York Jets, in a mock trade with the Philadelphia Eagles, selected South Carolina's Lenora Sellers at number 32. That made for 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round.